It's amazing that a hugely popular light novel has been released in large quantities. Hello, I'm Takeshi. This video is an introduction to the light novels that will be released in October. So I'm going to pick out some of the light novels that will be released in October 2023 of week 4. It's perfect for people who want to know the latest trends in light novels, as well as people who don't usually read light novels. To get people interested in light novels even if they don't read them, I will introduce it thoroughly. So please find the work you are interested in with this video, or if you find this video helpful, I would be really happy if you could click the subscribe button. And with that, let's move on. Let's start with MF Bunko J, which will be released on October 25th. Let's start by checking out the sequel titles in the series. This month's featured titles are Reincarnated in the World of a Yuri Game, as a man who got sandwiched by Yuri Volume 3. Stay away from Flag Chat. Volume 5 The Detective is Already Dead Volume 10 Welcome to the Classroom of the Elite Year 2 Volume 10. We will pick up these 4 works and introduce them to you. There are a lot of popular series. Let's take a look at the titles with fewer functions. First of all, this is the 3rd volume of Reincarnated in the World of a Yuri Game, as a man who got sandwiched by Yuri. The first volume of this series was released in April of this year. Well, this is already the 3rd time. New books are coming out at a fairly fast pace. The genre is reincarnation fantasy in the game world, but the main character is reincarnated in a game world with a male. It has an unusual setting. The main character is reincarnated as a troublesome male character who ends up in ruin, no matter what route he takes. For some reason, he gets passed over by Yuga's heroines, so he becomes a man caught between you and you. The main character is a consistent character, and it's broadcast for the sake of his favorite game character, so it feels good to watch. Also, the game world he's reincarnated into is full of elves, demons, etc. It's a modern fantasy with battle elements that appear, so the point is that there will be a solid battle development. In terms of direction, it feels similar to Magical Explorer, which was decided to be an anime a while ago, but it is differentiated in terms of its worldview. I'm sure fans of that series will enjoy it as well. Personally, I think it's one of the most promising of this year's new MF Bunko J series. The story seems to revolve around the heroine of the series, and since the main character is a junior high school student, it seems like there will be a lot of things to do in order to complete Sister U. This is a school battle fantasy with a new feel. If you are interested, please check it out. Senryoku Kahi Flagchan. Volume 5. This is a Comedy Fantasy's latest edition channel, which started as a YouTube manga channel, has more subscribers than the Fantasy channel, which has more subscribers than the Fantasy channel. The Death Flag is a girl who collects the lives of people who have been flagged for death. The first work on the YouTube channel. This is a work that makes full use of the strengths of the characters, such as survival flags and love flags. The story is also well written. so if you think of it as a character novel, you may find it unexpectedly interesting. The latest edition of the story is about a crisis that threatens to destroy the existence of the mob. Flagchan and her friends go on the air to solve the problem, and it looks like the heroine race is going to be a very exciting one. This is a new generation of YouTube original story, so if you haven't read it yet, check it out. The Detective is Already Dead Volume 10. The latest edition of the very popular innovator fantasy has finally arrived in the 10th volume of Tanmoshi. Well, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Detective Siesta, the world's biggest detective. This work begins with the dazzling adventure of the assistant, who loses a loved one and fights a mighty random battle that threatens the world. I'm enjoying the epic story that's being drawn. From the beginning of the story, where it was like a battle with a monster, the sense of scale expands at an incredible speed as the function progresses. So when it comes to the latest issue, it's really interesting. It's going to be an amazing story that involves the entire world. Well, it feels like a jumble of things where anything goes. By the way, the 2nd season of the TV anime about Tamo has already been decided, but when will it be broadcast? If it will be broadcast next year, I'm sure there will be some information soon. I want it, but I have something to do with the release of the new book. I hope new information comes out. I don't think there's anything written in the new book, so I'll have to check it out. And as for the latest version, the synopsis is a nameless owl that questions the ideals and intentions of those who pursued control. It says Turl, so it feels like there will be some past episodes again. I can't predict what kind of story it will be, because there are some illustrations of comfortable swimsuits. The fact that it comes at a diagonal angle is a great gift for fans of the series, so let's enjoy the latest volume.
Welcome to the classroom of the Elite Year 2 Volume 10. The latest edition has finally arrived on both days. Many people have been waiting for this one. Anyway, the cover of the latest issue gives off an intimidating feeling that doesn't seem like it's from a school. It makes me laugh a little. This work is set at an altitude where special education is conducted. Various strategic battles are held in the school unit called Training High School, and there is also a unique special exam, and there is a lot of reading and tactics, so it will be interesting to think about how it will unfold. Well, of all the characters, we don't really know what the main character, Koji, is thinking and acting, so considering the main character's actions allows us to read from an interesting perspective. Interesting perspective. As the final boss feels more and more like each time, I wonder what will happen next. I'm really looking forward to it. As for the latest edition, the third year of the second grade edition has begun, and it seems a harsh special exam will be held. The name is also a special exam for survival and elimination, and a large-scale exam will be held. When I hear that someone is going to drop out, I get really worried about whether someone will be expelled, and there are other things as well. Things around the heroine are also becoming more active, so keep an eye out for what will happen in that area. It's also because of the main character that it doesn't feel like a romantic comedy at all. As for the second year edition, I think there are only 23 volumes left, so I think the story will progress rapidly from here on out. Fans of the series will enjoy seeing what changes will occur in this issue.
This is a notable work in the series. This time I will pick up 3 works featuring I want to decide if I'm a negative person. This is definitely a positive thing. What if you could telepathically connect with someone you hate? I would like to introduce the works. Many of MF's new works are quite edgy, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn out. First of all, I want to decide if I'm a negative person. This is definitely a positive thing. This is definitely the work of a positive person. This is a negative, positive type, school-cast youth light novel. The heroine of Masu Investment has a very aggressive pose with her thumbs down. The heroine of this work has a grudge against the cheerful people who are enjoying their youth, and declares that she will dedicate her high school life to revenge on the monster shop. The main character, who has decided to cooperate with her revenge, seems to be a very painful child. It seems like the plot is about people getting caught up in the slapstick life of their youth. Also, this work seems to have a bit of a mystery element, where the heroine solves an incident at school, so I don't think it will be a simple romantic comedy. I want to destroy him. So basically it's going to be a comedy where Mikey is treated like a criminal. If you want to read a quirky youth romantic comedy where you solve cases while cheerfully picking fights, check out this series. Please try it next time. It's dangerous if you don't hold back. As the title says, it's going to be a new type of modern ninja romantic comedy, featuring ninja. This is a romantic comedy in a very cool genre. The worldview is an unusual setting, in which ninjas are active in the shadow of maintaining public order in Japan. They are in an agent-like position, shunned by the general public, so it was a popular drama a while ago. It's like Vivint One, right? And that's the ninja's final exam. The story begins with the main character hiding his true identity and going to high school. The heroine is a transfer student, a blonde Dale, who he meets at the high school, but her true identity is also a ninja and an outcast who left the organization. For some reason, she ends up moving into the main character's house, and it seems like a slapstick ninja romantic comedy will unfold. By the way I look at the illustrations for this work, I feel like I'm probably going to be classified as a Bacchanano. Try reading it. As I read, the main character is trying to quit being a ninja, but he believes the lie that ninjas are popular and takes another look at ninjas, making him a pretty stupid character. It's quite special. It looks like it's going to be a school love story, so click here. It looks like it's going to be a challenge to read. It looks like it's going to be a pretty aggressive school love story, so check it out. If you're interested, check it out. Next up is here. What if you could telepathically connect with someone you hate? This is a bit of a strange coming-of-age comedy. It looks like it's going to be a story with sci-fi elements that features a telepathic person. The main character of this work, the heroine, is in a business where they fight every time they open their mouths, but in reality, they understand each other's feelings through telepathy. However, what's a little interesting here is that people with supernatural abilities, including those with telepathic abilities, are causing various incidents and are in danger from the government. If they do, they will be chased by the whole country. However, it seems that their abilities will be discovered and they will be forced to flee. They will escape from various organizations such as the large corporations that control Toku
and the public security police working behind the scenes as the flying action continues. This seems like a very interesting setting. It feels like something out of a movie. They can hear each other's feelings telepathically. Their tense relationship is in the middle of a scalp row. I'm curious to see how it will change, and the romantic comedy aspects will turn out as well. It looks like it's going to be a sci-fi youth story with an interesting setting, so I'm thinking of buying it myself. If you're interested in this too, please check it out. These are the most noteworthy new works from MF Bunko J. There were quite a few new works that were quite unusual. Also, MF Bunko J also has the latest edition of the Goodbye Senyin series. Youth born from super popular songs, Venom Syndrome, Volume 4 an epic battle music series, like Volume 4 of How to Eat Life by Mr. Aojumonji, will be released all at once. This is the genre that has become the new pillar of MF Bunko J, so you can also use it here. Check it out. Now, let's introduce the notable works from X Bunko, namely the story of how a beautiful foreign student who lives next door started to visit my house after I helped a lost little girl, Volume 5, and Succubus 48 Moves. One's a wholesome romance story, one's has a strong erotic element. Feels like it's pretty competitive. First of all, it looks like the title of the sequel to the series. Let's move on to this series. The work is a romantic comedy about a beautiful girl studying abroad living next door to each other in an apartment building. The main feature of this work is that after helping the heroine's younger sister, the two grow closer. However, it's a sweet romantic comedy that will make you smile as the two develop a relationship like a husband and wife. To be honest, the setting of a romantic comedy between neighbors has been used up so much that there is nothing new about it. However, the pure love story part is very carefully crafted, and the younger sister is a cute little sister who is extremely adorable, so the kissing part becomes a nice hook. After all, the cuteness of an innocent child is strong, so that's it. The story is solid, with the main character having problems in the past and trying to overcome them, and as the story progresses, the relationship becomes more like a family. In the latest issue, the protagonist and heroine get caught up in a certain kind of trouble, and it looks like it's going to be quite a serious development. But I think the bond between the two will become stronger once they overcome that. Overall, the carefully crafted June is a romantic comedy, so there are elements that have appeared before. I think it's a series that you'll definitely enjoy if you like it. Please check it out while there are still few functions. Next is Succubus 48 Moves by Tetsubuta and Shimzabao. Well, this new work has a very colorful aura. It's this type of work. Isn't this your first time? The prince is a young man who wants to learn healing magic, and as a member of the hero's party, he works hard to subjugate the Demon King, but the story suddenly takes a turn when he is faced with a request from the king to leave the hero's party and complete the Sabbath quadruple development. I read the story literally, but it's a bit too meaningless and difficult to understand. I was wondering what the quadruple tip is, but it means that the world is a ritual, filled with difficult and erotic acts. Humanity fell into a predicament due to the Demon King's army. What does it mean that the heroine, who is the Princess of Sabbath, needs to complete the Sabbath quadruple development in order to save the Sabbath? Well, I don't know how to react to it. First of all, the feeling of looking at the ejaculation of the mouth is quite unpleasant, so there's no doubt that it is an erotic fantasy. Honestly, I feel that the author and the label have gone crazy. What kind of erotic comedy will it become? If you're a challenger, please give this series a try, and I'm thinking of putting in a little effort and picking it up myself. X Bunko also has other works as well, featuring Mukuwa Ranakata Morabito, Eikizoku ni Hiroete Dekyai Saro, Yuni, Jitsuwa Motetita Densetsu, Kyu no Kami Skill Mo Kakusai Shitai Siaza, who was not rewarded, was picked up by a noble and doted on him, and in fact, the legendary god skill he had was also awakened Volume 6, Inazuke ga Dikita Tomotara, Sono Itinazuke, Gagaku Doyume na Akuyaku, Reiju Data Ondakedo, Dushureba Iei. It turns out that I have a fiancée, but she is the famous villainess of the school. What should I do? Volume 3 and Otaku Chishiki 0 no Orgai, Neisuke Otoko Jirai Nagal to Otakatsu, Otano Shimu, Koto ni Natanandagai, who have zero knowledge of otaku, somehow ended up enjoying an otaku life with a gal who hates men. It seems like a tongue twister, but fans of the series should check it out as well. Next I will introduce one work from Famitsu Bunko, which will be released on October 30th. Here is the one I would like to introduce. As you can see from the cover and title of this work, the soccer of the three greats will shake the world. It's a light novel with a soccer theme, so it's quite rare among light novels. Personally, I thought it would be nice to have light novels with classic sports like manga. I'm really curious about it. The catchphrase for this work is a soccer myth that begins when a genius meets a genius. After the protagonist defeats a class with a genius striker, who is said to be the savior of Japanese soccer at a school ball tournament, he becomes interested in the genius striker. Well, the main character will be playing soccer with a refreshingly handsome guy who has made it to the Japanese national team, but the story seems to be set in high school soccer, so I'm not sure what will happen. I'm curious. Also, in this work, the main character seems to have a slightly special setting, and he has a secret. He can hear the voice of another person who calls himself Yamahito inside his head. It does have some strange settings though. It doesn't feel like dimensional soccer, but it feels like it could be enjoyed as a sports youth experience. I'm not sure how sports will turn out in light novels. However, I am planning to purchase this product in the future as well. I hope there will be more sports like this in the near future. Next, I'll pick up the noteworthy works of the book. This time I'll pick up two works. When I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Volume 21, Isekai Nonbiri Nouka Volume 16. I'll introduce these. First of all, let's start with Tensura. This one will be released by GC Novel on October 30th. It's been a long time since we've released a new book, so fans of the series will feel like they've been waiting in town. It's a parallel world fantasy series that begins with a reincarnated slime, but its popularity has reached an overwhelming level. Total number of copies published in the series sold over 40 million copies, making it the best of the light novel genre. The Tensura series has been in first place for a long time, but this year it has suddenly jumped to first place, and it is also the commemorative year of the series' 10th anniversary, so it is quite powerful with multiple comic adaptations. We are doing media mix. The completely new anime titled Coleus no Yum will be released on November 1st, and the third season of the TV anime will start next spring, 2024. So it's really hot, and it feels like it's going to keep going, so I'm sure things will get even more exciting from here on out. As for the original lane, the first volume was released last September, so it's been a year since then. This is a new book for the first time in a while. If there's a lot of media mix, the sightseeing pace of the original slows down. Also, there are so many characters in the series, so I can't really remember everything about it. I often forget things, so it might be a good idea to read all the volumes before the new book is released. This is a long-awaited new book, so avid fans of the series needs to look out for this. And lastly, is Isekai Nonbiri Nouka Volume 16, which will also be released on October 30th. The popularity of this series has been stable, and the number of functions has increased considerably. The TV anime was also broadcast in January of this year, and it seems that there are many people who have not read the original, but have watched the anime. What do you think? As for the anime, it doesn't really stand out that much. It wasn't that great, but I felt like it was relaxing and enjoyable, and personally it wasn't bad. This series is really interesting. As you develop your village, increase the number of residents, and develop your business in a stress-free manner. Especially in the original work. The format of the text is not good in a good sense. It's kind of laid back, but the story unfolds at a very fast pace, so it's nice that it's a quick read. The beauty of the house character is known by those in the know. I used to work as a scenario writer for a game maker, and since then I've been working on these kinds of town building type works, so I feel like I'm a bit of a box in terms of the Nima genre. As for the latest book, a spy sneaks into the village and troubles me. It seems that it will cause a problem, but it seems that it will be resolved slowly. This series is the type that you can read slowly and steadily without worrying about it, so let's just sit back and enjoy the series. I've picked out some of the books that caught my attention. So this time, I would like to introduce some of the most popular light novels that will be released in late October. This time, there are series such as Yuzitsu and Tensura that are among the most popular in the light novel industry. I guess it's a rule, but everyone cares. If you have anything interested in this video, please let us know in the comments section. That's all for this video. We'll be introducing new releases next week as well, so please show your support for the channel by clicking the subscribe button. I'll be happy if you could watch another video. See you in the next video.